Despite some of the mixed pre-release impressions for Star Wars Outlaws, I'd be lying if I said there weren't some compelling elements. When a developer offers a giant, open-world playground like this, especially in one of the most beloved sci-fi settings of all time, it's hard not to be intrigued by some of its offerings. Here are 15 things I'm excited to try out when it launches on August 30th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC.
Varric hired me to do a job. I'm gonna finish it.
Shame. Can't trust anyone out here.
Playing Sabacc. Sabacc, the iconic card game which netted Han Solo the Millennium Falcon from Lando Calrissian, is finally playable for the first time in-game. Kay can discover various challenges for it throughout the galaxy, and even if high-stakes wagers aren't your thing, there are cheats to unlock, like sending Nix to check someone's cards to tip the odds in your favor. Annoying enemies with Nix. Stealth seems like a mixed bag of sorts, but one thing that looks like it won't get old is terrorizing enemies with Nix.
Come on, Nix. Like a whisper.
From dropping overhanging lights on their heads and playing dead to attract their attention, to outright ripping a stormtrooper's face off, there are all sorts of fun possibilities. Commanding him to retrieve weapons also doesn't hurt. Discovering Han Solo in Carbonite. One of Massive's bigger reveals for the title is the appearance of what appears to be Han Solo trapped in Carbonite. Since Kay is sneaking through Jabba's palace in the gameplay, and the story takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, it's a cameo that makes sense. Is Han just a background prop though, a fun little wink and nod, or a way to showcase what happens if you double-cross the Hutt cartel? Time will tell, but it should be an interesting interaction. Arcade game cabinets. No, they're not playing Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle or Sega Bass Fishing like in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but the arcade game cabinets in Outlaws provide a fun distraction. We've seen a shoot 'em up, Raven 6, and a racer of sorts, each with their own retro vibe and some high scores to beat. There are seemingly other games to discover, but can we have a console to set up in the Trailblazer? Here's hoping. Betray a Syndicate.
All right, Boss Knock. Wipe all the peg debts you have on record.
Someone wants to get Gork in trouble, huh? Brave, sure. Stupid, maybe. I'll wipe them and meet you in my extraction cruiser.
In a space scoundrel-focused adventure, it's good to see Star Wars Outlaws isn't shying away from immersing players in its underworld vis-a-vis the Syndicates. Doing favors for them and reaping some benefits here is fine, but betraying them is where the fun begins. Are some betrayals one and done with no chance of redemption? Well, even if they are, it'll feel good to crush Jabba's spirit. Battling Syndicate assassins. For a team that brought us Tom Clancy's The Division, combat is something I'm looking forward to the least in Outlaws, whether it's because of the uneven AI or lack of exciting options seen till now. Nevertheless, I want to see if the so-called Syndicate assassins, who hunt Kay if she annoys a faction too much, put up a different challenge. More bounty hunters from Jedi Survivor and less Kill Squad from Suicide Squad in terms of variety. Harass the Empire. Betraying a faction is one thing, but annoying the Empire is forever. We saw glimpses of this when Kay refused a bribe and pulled a blaster on an Empire agent, but there are other ways to get on their bad side. For example, one of the living space events that players will encounter, per creative director Julian Geraghty to IGN, is the Empire inspecting a smuggler's ship. You could leave well enough alone or swoop in and provide assistance. Perhaps there will be other opportunities to show resistance, if for no other reason than because it's funny. Exploring locations, encountering random events. Regardless of what the previews say about the story and dialogue, several are positive about the exploration aspects. Rushing around on Toshara in a speeder, encountering various emergent events, which will occur every 2 to 3 minutes. Discovering new locations that can provide information on points of interest, and finding secrets. It's all enjoyable enough, especially for those who like to get lost in an open world. Visiting different space stations.
Philo mentioned you'd stop by. I'll send you the location of the stash. Get inside and take what's in there.
All right. I can do that.
Good. Find me in Jonta's Hope when you're done.
As endearing as it can be to walk around through various towns and watch individuals go about their day, the space stations are more exciting. There's something about wandering around these dank, dirty hallways, wretched hives of scum and villainy, to kill time or scope out more information. Who knows, maybe there are cleaner stations with a completely different vibe with their own secrets to discover. Recruiting experts. Skills are an important part of the Outlaws experience, but the learning experience is a bit different from your average RPG. You'll scour the galaxy and meet various experts, recruiting them to your cause and learning new skills. These can range from lockpicking to bartering with merchants, each with different upgrades. Not only does this system build a connection with the game's cast, but it leans into the overarching goal of assembling a crew for that one big score. Customizing the Trailblazer. The Trailblazer is Kay's ship throughout her journey, and thus far, we've seen plenty of dogfighting action. It's the customization which interests me more. We've seen one side where the player explores a dead Sarlacc to recover some of its teeth in exchange for a laser turret from the Jawa Raiders. But what other options exist? How powerful can you make the ship? Can you unlock the ability to call in bombing runs? Unlikely, but still. If nothing else, I'm hoping for some cosmetic customizations that don't involve buying a DLC pack. Investigating wrecks. Another one of the more interesting living space events is investigating wrecks, usually following a distress beacon. It's very likely to be a trap, which could mean fighting your way out to survive. I'm hoping there are spooky abandoned derelicts that the player can dock with and explore, perhaps happening upon terrifying creatures or strange phenomena. If it sounds like I'm asking for some Dead Space in Star Wars, well, you're absolutely right. Make it happen, Massive. Explorer mode. With the debate around the dreaded yellow paint still ongoing, it's great to see Star Wars Outlaws provide an option to turn it off. This lends to platforming and exploration feeling more diegetic, even if some environmental elements are a bit too conveniently placed for one's exploration needs. If nothing else, it at least encourages trying, failing, and learning while venturing through an environment instead of having everything mapped out, while still keeping the option for those who do want it. Making tough decisions. We've already seen what happens if you shortchange a Syndicate, but what about some tougher, story-focused decisions? We already know the game won't offer multiple endings, but could these decisions impact the outcome of the narrative in other ways? Could they lead to content that you wouldn't otherwise see? Here's hoping. The heist. Amidst all this talk of mini-games, space events, syndicates, sneaking, and whatnot, Massive Entertainment have remained very tight-lipped about the heist that Kay wants to pull off. I'm curious to see how her bonds with the various syndicates come into play, and also whether you need to assign different companions to tasks based around their competency, a la Mass Effect 2's suicide mission. Either way, it should make for a climactic ending to the story. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.